everyone and welcome to another episode of Performer Talk with me, Simon South. Now today I thought that we'd talk about, since it's a new year, I thought we'd talk about when I first got my first residency, which was new to me. So new year, new residency as it were. I also hope you had a wonderful new year and I hope you had a great time and enjoyed yourself and had plenty of drinks and all that kind of good thing. But yeah, so we're going to talk about the first time I ever got a residency in a restaurant, so let's get to it. So, how do you get a residency in a restaurant? It's a weird one that many people have covered in lots of different ways and probably a lot better than I have. How I decided that I wanted a residency in a restaurant was essentially all the people that I looked up to at the time had one at one point or another. So I was just like, I need to get one of these because it will help me so much in my career and it'll help me be able to do this, do that, do the other. I must admit, my first ever residency came completely out of the blue. Completely out of the blue. There's an art gallery near where I live in Liverpool called the Blue Coat Art Gallery, and they had at that time an exhibition coming up. And the exhibition was called the Slow Magic Exhibition. And because it was called Slow Magic, they put magician into Google and they found my name and my, not gonna lie, probably rather terrible website at the time. But still, yeah, they found me, they got in touch and they said, is there any chance that you could come in during the time of this exhibition and perform magic for us? So I was booked to go and do the Blue Coat Art Gallery, and it was every single day in summer. So every single day in summer, for 1 hour, I would go to the art gallery and I would perform magic as part of their exhibition. And it was awesome. I loved it. It was incredible. And it gave me, just doing that constantly, like every single day for, what was it? It was either 4 or 6 weeks, I can't remember which, but it was wonderful. It was absolutely incredible. So that was my first official residency. And as I said, I went in for 1 hour every single day and I got paid £40 per day. So £40 an hour. It was at that time when I thought, oh, YouTube's a good thing. Apparently that's blowing up and things like that. And so I tried to get some videos and stuff like that. There is some on my very old YouTube account that I don't have access to anymore because I've forgotten the password and login. But yeah, so there's some videos of that, of me performing in the Blue Coat Art Gallery, which is kind of fun. And I managed to find them the other day and I was like, oh, this is great, this is brilliant. But then my first restaurant residency arrived through a lot of trial and error. And essentially, because I didn't really know how to go about getting a restaurant residency, I just went through the yellow pages because yes, back then we still had yellow pages, still a thing. I think they still are, I don't know. But yes, so went through the yellow pages and I found every restaurant that I could and I rang every single one, and that is horrific for me. I found it the worst thing in the world, calling, just cold calling people. I found it really, really difficult. And as well, I was 17 I think at the time, so yeah, literally just phoning up restaurants and going, hi, my name's Simon, I'm a magician, I'd love to come and do some magic in your restaurant. I'm not gonna lie, I had no experience in this at all. I genuinely was going off the belief that if I ring enough, then someone will say yes. And luckily, someone did. My first ever residency was at an American diner, which was in Heswell, and it's called What's Cooking. And I think, in all honesty, I sent them an email. It was kind of sort of a chain. There was 2 or 3 of them. So I think what happened was I rang them up and they said, oh, you need to email this or whatever. So I emailed and then I got a reply saying, yep, do you want to come in and you start on Sunday? I was like, okay, this is rather good. So I did go in for sort of like an interview thing, so they could see that I was actually a relatively good performer at the time, and luckily I was. And yeah, and then I started there, and I was there for about 3-4 months, I think, every Sunday for 2 hours. And obviously I went off my first residency rate, so I went there for £40 an hour. Eventually, I think it just came to a head, as in, like, not a bad thing or anything, but I was still learning. I was still massively learning the process of being a professional magician. Obviously, I'd done professional gigs and other things like that. Otherwise, you know, I wouldn't have the confidence to even call up anyone and say, "Hey, do you want to, book me for residency?" But yeah, so. But that was my first residency, was performing at an American diner called What's Cooking. They also had a clown in and a face painter, so I was an addition to that. And if I ever made a mistake, and I've not made them since being there, but yeah, if I ever did something that was a little bit odd or quirky and they weren't sure what I was doing, the manager would just take me aside and go, "Simon, this thing that you just did, can I just ask why? Was it for comedy purposes? Was it for this? Was it this because of thing? Or was it this?" And that's how I learned. I learned purely because they taught me. They taught me everything regarding restaurant work and everything. And I'm so lucky that they also took a massive chance on me. So yeah, that's my first attempt at restaurant work, really. And unfortunately, since then, the restaurant in Heswall has closed, and the restaurant in Liverpool, I think, has closed. They had one in Liverpool, and I remember going to Liverpool and doing a gig there specifically for when Liverpool had the Night of Lights, I think it was called. And I just had this really cool new trick, and I just went in. I went in like 3 days earlier, grabbed a load of bar napkins. It was to do with bar napkins. Got home, prepped them all, did some cool stuff with them so that I could bring them in and do the trick. So yeah, I really I owe a lot to them. And What's Cooking really did. It taught me a lot. My first residency, because yeah, it didn't last very long, but the experience going in and having that permanent placement for all that time, it was phenomenal. So there we go. That was my my first ever proper residencies. Obviously, thank you so much for watching. We are trying to build the channel up a bit more and a bit more. So if you did enjoy this, then please do share it with your friends and your family if it seems appropriate, and if it doesn't seem appropriate, send it to them anyway, because you never know. I need the views, please give me the views, please. But yeah, so you never know, and if they enjoy it, then amazing, brilliant. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. It is just a small channel at the moment, and we are hoping to grow it just a little bit bigger. So if you do enjoy this, then please do subscribe. And no matter where you are in the world, have a wonderful evening, afternoon, or morning, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you then. See you later.